Hello everybody, Tarek37 here. Yeah, where to start? First off, I'm sorry for not uploading in months. The past few months have not been great. Lot of, just a lot of stuff coming up that has really made it hard to, find the time or the motivation, to do this. But, it's a new year. It's been a new year for a little bit. Uh, I know I haven't finished the Star Wars one. I'm gonna put that on the back burner because I have not been able to come up with how I want the next session to go. Mm, I know Romhen is supposed to head towards Coruscant for debriefing and that kind of stuff. That's honestly probably going to be a social encounter. But I just, like I said, I've been having trouble motivating myself to go back to that. Maybe I will if an idea strikes me for how to, make it more fun and engaging. But at the moment, I can't come up with anything. Um, that said, for the new year, I did come up with an idea of something I'm going to try to do. Um, I'm going to try to record in advance a number of episodes, and I'm going to try to make them about around 30 minutes, not exactly 30 minutes, but like kind of start a recording and then at a good stopping point up to 30 minutes later end a recording. And I'm going to try to build up a backlog of about 4 episodes per month, hopefully, so that it'll be released one Saturday a week. Um, that's going to be my goal. Hopefully, I'll actually be able to follow through, unlike so many other things. Um, But yeah. Oh, also another reason I should probably not try the Star Wars one is I updated everything. As you can probably tell by how different Foundry looks. Um, yeah, Foundry. I updated Foundry to the latest public version, which I believe is version 13. I'm not going to do 14. That is still in development. Um, but as you can see down here, frames per second, latency. Don't know why I'm getting latency. Yeah, that's weird. Um, but um, oh, okay. Sorry. Um, I did get a few things. I got some D&D module. I bought it. It's the 2024 Player's Handbook for D&D. That's maybe I'll do D&D, but it's not really my favorite system, so I probably won't. But I also got Call of Cthulhu, which not my favorite system, but I like it. I like it a hell of a lot more than D&D, honestly. Um, so I'm gonna try to do a solo Call of Cthulhu game. There's no music or anything in the background. I haven't trying to figure out what to do for that. Um, Also, I haven't made it yet, but I do have the one of the Mythic magazines that has rules for horror and mystery. So I'm going to be trying to incorporate that. But as with any time I start a new campaign, let's start with character creation. And so we're going to start with the Investigator Creation Wizard. Um, it is a, you can read it here. Yeah, I got the official module for this, paid money for it. Um, I could have probably included a bunch of this for free by putting it in manually one by one. Um, but I honestly don't have the time or the motivation to do that. Um, I do maybe want to try Twilight Imperium because I want to run a game for that for another group, and I need to add stuff, including Really interestingly, I know this is a tangent, but Edge Studios recently published I think it's like Ships of the Shattered Imperium. I think that's the name of it. It's the latest Twilight Imperium RPG book, which has not just ships. It has rules for like commanding ships, ways to make it like a bit easier, or with like larger ships, try to condense it down. Mass combat rules, mechs, tanks, starfighters, all the whole thing. It's really cool. Also adds a lot more like the mentality and strategy of each of the factions. It's really cool. Not sponsored, by the way. I just got really enthusiastic when I saw that it was on drive-through. I tried to get a physical copy at a store, could not find it, and online it was to get a physical copy, which is what I would have preferred. It was like $55, I want to say, which is more than the Genesis Core book and about the same as the Twilight Imperium setting book, which, if I'm honest, that's too much. That's more. That's what you charge basically for a core book, for a core rule book, and that's too much for a ship expansion. I think it's a really good book. I just don't think the price is worth it, unfortunately. But hey, that's getting off topic. Let's get back to making an investigator. I'm choosing a 1920s standard because I think that's an interesting era because my mind goes to like noir detective stories and stuff. Um, uh, let's add a couple of these. Allow characteristics to be re-rolled, maybe. Select your. Yeah. Currently has 129 occupations. Okay, let's do this. Okay, select your investigator setup. Uh, okay, default setup for a 1920s character. So we're gonna roll for all these stats. All right, cool. Got a 45. Let's see if I can pop that open. Okay, yeah. Constitution, 35. All right. Size, 55. Okay. Dexterity, 65. That's good. Appearance, 35. Okay. Um, Intelligence, 50. Okay. Power, 50. Education, 85. Ooh. And luck is a 40. And then for age, I'm going to put it at like a 27. Um, so I guess I should give a rundown on Call of Cthulhu. It is a D100 system. You want to roll under. So having like a high education, I think this is normally like it's either intelligence or education that is your like idea roll, and you want to roll under that if you need to like be like, okay, I need to come up with an idea, i.e., ask the GM for me to find a clue or something. All right. Your age determines how many improvement checks you can make for your education, as well as like the older you get, the more physically frail you can sometimes get. Frail's probably not the right word, but age affects us all in different ways. When you make an improvement check for education, you try to roll over your education, and if you do, you roll a d10 and add it. So, yeah, I rolled a 64. I needed at least an 85 to get the improvement. So, thankfully, this system already does all the magical stuff of filling in what's my movement, what's my sanity, what's my magic points, hit points, build, bonus damage, all that stuff. Okay, so now occupation. There's a lot of options here. Um, the one that I've been thinking about that I think would be good would be a reporter. Um, Use words to report and comment upon topics and incidents of the day, writing as many words in a day as an author may in a week, or for newspapers, magazines, radio, television, internet news services. Well, the internet doesn't exist yet. Television, I don't think really existed in the 20s. I'm not the best when it comes to technology eras. Um, so there's some suggested contacts, credit rating, number of occupation skill points, occupational skills. Um, And a minimum of 9 points from my occupational skill points need to go into credit rating to get the minimum amount. Um, all right, and then I will choose persuade. Um, I think that works. Um, honestly, some of the speech ones are kind of like blur together for me, so it's hard for me to always tell what the right one to pick is. But I'll go with persuade. And now I can spend the skill points. So I've got 331 remaining. So uh, this checkbox is for, or this text box is for like occupational skill points, and this one is for your personal interest points. So 80, your language, your own language, you always start with your education level in that. I'm going to put 40 points into listen. I'm going to put one more point into credit rating. There. Now we have an even 290. So I'm going to put 50 points into persuade. I'm going to put 60 points into psychology. Psychology, from what I understand, is kind of your, if you're doing D&D, kind of insight. Like you're using psychology to try to figure out if someone's lying. I have 180 left, so I'm going to do 40 in spot hidden. Stealth, I'm also going to do 40. Okay, I've got 100 left. I will do 50 into history. And acting, I will do, I'll do 25 to that. And I'll put another 25 into, I'll put 15 into here. I've got 10 left, and I'll put another 10 into psychology. All right, so now I've got 100 points left to put into whatever I want. I can put it into occupational skills, but I am going to put it in some into the firearms handgun. I'm going to put a good 40 into that. I'll put, let's see, I'll put, I will put, where to put it? You know what? I will put some into first aid. I'll put another 30 into first aid, because I think that'll be a good one. And I will put 30 into fast talking. I think that's a good one. And you can't put any points into Cthulhu Mythos without GM approval, because to keep it more mysterious. All right, so name. Thankfully, over here we have Richmond. Okay, Richmond. Oh, I could have done the period names male with surname. Ozenich. Okay. Interesting. I have not heard that. Ozenich. Alright. Language own will be English. Residence, I'm going to put his current residence. I don't know too much. I've been listening to some Lovecraft audiobooks. I'm going to say current residence, I'm going to put as Kingsport. But birthplace, I'm going to have birthplace be Bolton. Don't really have an image idea yet. I might look at some of my books from either the Arkham Horror RPG or the Call of Cthulhu RPG. It just occurred to me, I made a whole video about how much I loved the Arkham Horror RPG. The only reason I'm not using it is because there isn't a rule system for it yet in Foundry. and I do not trust my skills in coding well enough, or I have the skills in coding, but I don't know the Foundry setup well enough to build my own system. Um, all right. Okay, so this is kind of broken. Investigator backstory. So we have the personal description, treasure, possessions, and traits. I do have tables for I think most of these. Yeah. I don't know about personal physical description, but let's roll for backstory, ideology, and beliefs, which these are also very okay, I don't like that, so I'm gonna re-roll. Ideology, belief in the occult. I also don't want that because I feel like that strays too close into knowing about the um okay, member of a society or a secret society. Um I kind of like that one, so I'm gonna say not necessarily a secret society, but I like member of a society. I might look through the Keeper's Guide for the Call of Cthulhu RPG, see if I can't find some interesting societies there. Because again, I think that'd be an interesting one. I need to find out what society, but yeah. Okay. Uh, significant people. Oh, I can't do that. Let's try again because there is no fellow investigator in my game. A famous person, your idol or hero you may never have even met. They taught you something. Okay. Significant people. I'm going to say a famous reporter taught me to never let go of a lead. I think that would be a good one to have. I will also try to look up some famous reporters from the era. Um, okay, meaningful locations. I'm gonna roll this. Let's see here. The grave of a significant person. All right. How about um? Sorry, my dog has come over and wants some attention. Yeah, want some attention. Oh, pardon. Um, yeah, I think I'm going to have. I like grave of a significant person. I'm gonna have it be the grave of a best friend who. Um, Hi, I'm back. It was her time for a treat, and she would not let me do anything until I gave her a treat because she has a very strict schedule when it comes to food, unless she can get it earlier. um, okay, where was I? The grave of, I'm going to say, the grave of a friend who died under mysterious circumstances. Um, I think that makes sense. Um, treasured possessions. Let's see here. Treasured possessions. Here we go. Gotta draw a result. A pet. All right. A dog named. I'll say Silver. Um. All right. Traits. Backstory traits. Let's get one. What was that one? I missed it. Is that okay? Gambler and a risk taker. Yeah, I think that fits. Gambler and a risk taker. I think that's a good trait to have for a investigator that doesn't necessarily want to live for a long time. So here he is, Richmond Oznich, Rich or Oz. I'm not sure which one will be the one. Uh, that one. Let's see. Yeah, 9 hit points. For those of you who don't know about Call of Cthulhu, it is known for being very lethal. Um, and all right, let me. And it is, like I said, it's D100, roll under. So if I roll handgun, regular roll card, regular roll difficulty, no bonus dice, 23. That is a hard success. Um, Success is kind of determined by how low you get under your skill check. So, for example, I think this is a hard success because it is under half of my current skill. So my current skill is 60. I needed to roll under. I needed to roll under 60 to succeed, but because I rolled under 30, it is a hard success. And if I'd rolled under, I believe it's 1/5 of the value, that is an extreme success. So I'm just going to uncheck this because that was for. Um, okay, double click. Thank you. Um, there's combat, gear and cash. He's got a spending level of $10, cash on hand $20, assets $500. Um, Backstory, here's what we got so far. I still need to figure out a personal description. Um, it's going to be tough on that one. Effects, got some effects here. Keeper's notes. This would be really handy for, if I was GMing for a group of people playing this, because then I could have my own little notes here that they presumably wouldn't be able to see. So that'd be cool to have. Knows English, yeah. So yeah, um, I could spend 11 luck to make it an extreme. Um, let's see, that would put it at a 12, which would be, yeah, that'd be enough to make it an extreme success. Okay. So yeah, you can spend luck to make something a success, but I think you have to spend as much luck as the difference between the number you want and the number you have. Um, yeah. Um, oh gosh, I think the other one was like 15 minutes late. Private GM roll, blind GM roll, self roll, export chat roll. All right. Trying to see what else might. I obviously have a couple of these maps. I think this one is from the Call of Cthulhu book. This one, the Arkham Tourist map, I believe this is from the Arkham Horror RPG. So here's Richmond Oznich. I'll try to see if I can find a good picture in one of the rule books to use for Richmond. Items, journal, all these rollable tables, card stacks. Macros are now here. They're not. Well, you can click them down here. Whoa. Uh, uh, can I get out of this? Hello? Okay. Just getting a bit worried there. Music. I need to find some good music. All of the various compendiums. And then here's where I can manage modules and everything. Um, and that's. Let's see. What do we got over here for Keeper's Tools? This has become kind of a like, ooh, what cool stuff can I do? Let's see. Character creation mode. And replacement, set up your compendium, actor importer, investigator creation wizard, XP gain, send a decoy roll to players. I don't know what that means. Roll. This is, I guess, just like I can roll a random die. It's lagging a bit. Failed by one level. Okay. Let's see. Create link. Interesting. Sorry. Again, I'm kind of trying to figure out any new things that might have popped up. Journal notes, drawing tools, wall controls. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything that I might have missed. Unconstrained movement. Okay. But yeah, well, I guess I know. Another thing I have is it is like solo investigators toolkit, I believe. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let's see, which folder is it under? Yeah, I've got a bunch of different folders. Some of these can be in either one. Okay, yeah, the Solo Investigator's Handbook by, let me see, Paul Bimler. Uh, it is a comprehensive method. But what I'm gonna it uses I'm probably gonna use Mythic more for things because I know that one a bit better than this one. Then it's yes or no and everything like that. But it has some cool things like generating a scenario using a D100. So we're gonna do that. We're just gonna generate a scenario. Um, Man, it's lagging more than I'd like. Why is it doing that? All right, 32. What is our... Okay, a remote site or town has been devastated by a mysterious phenomenon. You have been asked to travel there and investigate. I like that. Um, Probably not. Then I'm probably not going to use the Arkham Tourist map, but um, let's see. If we're currently living in Kingsport, uh, I don't know. That might be something we need to look up, but I'll put this for the scenario. A remote town, let's do that, has been devastated by a mysterious phenomenon. You have been asked to travel and investigate. There we go. So that's the premise. It fits for a reporter. You know, here's something weird went down. You send a reporter to investigate. Probably not really expecting. So I'm not going to do a quest received from because presumably from our boss, like said, we heard this is going down. Can you go um, figure out what's going on? Let's see here. Trying to think. Oh, one thing this thing does that I think is kind of interesting. All right, solo journal. I'm gonna try to have this be in character. Yep, I'm gonna have a OOC page. But one of the things that they have in this I like is for story direction. And one thing that they also do is like basically writing it as a diary with a timestamp that you put in the diary of in character of like they give an example of someone who's like, oh, on the train I overheard two men talking, and then you can roll to see like how much time has passed since then, like how many you roll a D100 and divide by 2 to get how many minutes have passed since your last journal entry. So I think that's pretty cool, and they have ideas for like different story direction. But again, I don't think I'm going to be doing that just because, again, I'm more used to how Mythic does things like that. But um, yeah, have an OOC page. So let's do. Alright, I'll do a character list. I'm going to... For the NPC, instead of... Let's see. What would be a good NPC? I think maybe... You know what? A good... Because NPCs don't necessarily have to be people. They can be the town. So I'm going to put the town. I think that's a good one. That'll be a good one to roll for. And the thread list is, obviously, this one's easy. Find out what happened to the town. There, easy. Some easy setup. And I think this should be around half an hour. I'm going to have to combine these two recordings into one. But I hope this will be fun. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope at least you got something out of it. You know, getting a look at the Call of Cthulhu module, seeing if it's for you. I don't blame you if it's not. Um, I think I can show a funny thing of because like this thing obviously includes like oh yeah, I still need to buy stuff for my character, but monsters, beasts, and alien gods. So here's what a bat looks like. This is a bat. Yep, that's exactly what I think of when I see a bat. When you say bat, I see eyeball surrounded by tentacles. um, but you know, all in good fun. Um, yeah, hopefully you all enjoy it. Hopefully this will be fun. I think I might be I'm not sure if I'm going to just keep doing a new thing every month, like a new RPG um, every month. I've had that idea. Um, I think it could be a good one because I get distracted very easily. I can get bored very easily, unfortunately. So this might be a good way of like where it's like, cool, one month I'll do this RPG, another month I'll do another. Um, I have wanted to try. There's a setting for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition called Midnight Legacy of Darkness, which I think could be an interesting, fun one. Uh, the setting seems really interesting, and I don't know if I'll be able to run it for anybody because, one, it's kind of a dark setting, and two, most of the people I'd run it for are kind of new to D&D, and I don't think it would be a good starting uh, setting because there's some restrictions. There are like 3 classes you can't pick. There's a bunch of uh, cultures you can't pick. Money isn't really used. It's just a very different world, so it's hard to bring new people into that world. But that's for the future. I'd have to add stuff manually, but I wouldn't have to add everything manually. A lot of stuff would like a long sword is a long sword. But thank y'all for watching/listening. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you all have a great day. Bye.